Alright guys, this is Zaxter99. I want to go ahead and introduce you, or try to introduce you, to my new Mexican red knee tarantula. Now, I was a little bit disappointed when I bought this thing, because I paid a reptile shop here $100 to order this thing in for me. He wanted like $110. Talked him down a little bit. But he was supposedly advertising that the Mexican red knee, this one was 2 inches big. And so I went online after I ordered it, and I knew that was pretty fair. It seemed like it was pretty fair when he quoted me the price. But then I'd heard that some people were buying them for like $30 or $40. So I went online and found out like half-inch long ones are, 30, $40 online, plus usually an ordering fee. So I was like, man, that's a little, he charged me a little bit much, but then I saw that if you order like a 3-inch one, it can be up to $150. So I was like, okay, maybe $100 for 2 inches was a pretty fair price, maybe. Maybe a little bit on the spendy side, but wasn't real sure. You guys can let me know. This is my first tarantula I've ever bought. So we had this 10-gallon terrarium that we started Rocky in. And you guys can see Rocky is over here asleep right now. So it is really early in the morning. I just woke up after sleeping a couple hours, and I had transported my Mexican red knee in here to this 10-gallon terrarium that Rocky used to have when he was little. And I got to tell you, when I picked the spider up that came in, this reptile shop had ordered it in for me. I was a little bit disheartened to see that the spider's probably only 1 inch at most. So this is a real baby. Red knee. Still, I mean, I'd already paid the guy the $100. I wasn't going to throw too big of a fit. I just hope that it lives. Well, the problem is when I get up this morning, I had originally put my spider in here. And first thing I wanted to do was go ahead and wait. This is just the top that lifts off. And I had weighted it down with a set of tools just to make sure that there shouldn't be any kind of crevice or anything like that, or any kind of space or way for the tarantula to escape. I had also had this little water dish, this little reptile water dish here, maybe not even half full, but I was expecting to get a 2-inch terrarium in there. Well, I certainly didn't want my spider to drown, so I soaked up most of that water with a paper towel just to prevent it. And I have some moss and other things in here. So I created a hut from an old coffee container for it to hide in. So when I get up this morning and I'm looking for my little 1-inch Mexican red knee, I'm like, where the hell is it? I'm wondering, did it burrow itself? I don't see it anywhere. And I was like, oh, it's got to be up in its new dark hiding spot inside that coffee container I set up. Have a little bit of moss there, which I soaked yesterday in water and put in there, but it's pretty dry now. But I'm like, okay, well, let me get a flashlight and let's see if we can see it in here. Well, the terrarium, the Mexican red knee should be big enough to see in here. That little guy is not in there. Well, where is he? He is not here anywhere. Did he escape somehow? Well, I just really don't know. Let's go ahead, and I was thinking, okay, well, before I actually freak out and take the top of it off, my wife had put this plant in the back there, in the corner. I was like, well, maybe he climbed up. I don't know if this plant might be dangerous, because if it tries to climb the plant, it might fall. And, tarantulas can they can die from a fall. I don't know if it would die from that far of a fall, but it could hurt itself. But the main thing is where is it? So, I mean, I paid $100 for this little guy. The last thing I want is to lose him in my house. I'm not real scared of him. My family would be. So I'm like, okay, well, he's got to be hiding somewhere. So I decided to go ahead and flip it around here on the back side and see if I could find him. I'm looking through all this dried moss and I don't see him. I don't see any legs or body sticking out of the dirt anywhere. I'm like, well, okay, maybe he crawled up under this moss. And let's move here. Maybe he kind of crawled up under this moss here and went down and got into this little hole here, which you can see a little hole. And then over on this side, you see kind of a little burrow where I didn't pack the dirt down quite good enough. So you could think that maybe he's up under there. Well, I don't really see him. I don't really see him anywhere under there. Oh boy, don't tell me that my little spider escaped here. Well, where could he be? Where could he be? Well, I just don't think that it's possible that he could have escaped with his weight on top of this lid. I mean, that's going to make a pretty tight fit. So, there's little holes here, but I don't think I think he was too big to get through one of these holes. So, I'm thinking he's got to be in here somewhere. Well, so after taking the lid off, first thing I want to do is check the plant, make sure he's not, up on the plant or up near the sides or on top of the actual terrarium lid, waiting to escape. And he wasn't there. And so I was like, well, let's go ahead and search through this moss here, make sure that he's not hiding up in here. I don't see him taking off running anywhere there. Alright. I haven't handled this tarantula, by the way, yet. So anyway. So I'm looking here. I don't see him anywhere. And this is the little dirt that came in the little container that he came in. And I'm like, okay, well, where is he? Last night when I first got him, he kind of came over here. And he kind of hid right here in the corner, right back behind this water dish. And that's where he was and he had been sitting there for a little while before I went to bed. And I was pretty tired, so I went ahead and went to bed. And I just don't see him anywhere. Well, let's go ahead and show you where he's at. I did find him, and the way I found him was I actually moved this water dish. I was like, well, maybe he's under here. And sure enough, he has burrowed. I don't think that little hole was there. No, I know it wasn't. So I know that little hole in the dirt wasn't there when I placed that water dish there. And if you see him, he is actually burrowed a little hole. I didn't pack this dirt. This is actually eco earth. And I didn't pack this dirt, too hard. But he has burrowed him a little hole up under the water dish. So if you lose your tarantula that's only about an inch big, then that might be where he's at. So let's go ahead and measure this guy. But anyway, this is my little Mexican red knee tarantula. And he's hiding. I'm sure he doesn't like this flashlight on him at 5 o'clock in the morning. But that is him. Say hi. Say hi to you too, buddy. Let's go ahead and see if we can't measure him real quick. Alright. Alright guys, look at the little Mexican red knee here. It looks like he might be a little over an inch. I don't actually have my tape measure right on him. I don't want to have him get up on my tape measure and crawl up on it. You can kind of see I got the tape measure about an inch above him. So he's going to be a little bit bigger than it looks like here. Yeah. Well, from leg to leg, he might be an inch and a half. So he's certainly not 2 inches. And keep in mind, these guys supposedly get over 4 inches big. These guys get 4 to 5 inches big. So he's going to get, from leg to leg, he's going to get to be a pretty big spider. And as you can see him, he is starting to get some of the red coloring already. He's actually facing away from the camera.